Hello friends and enemies, welcome back. It's me Isabel here at Happy for Now. I've got my manga log for you for the last quarter. So I'm going to start doing these quarterly because I read quite a bit. Generally 50-ish a quarter, I would say, is on par, which is what I read this last quarter. So I'm proud of myself. I will obviously have a higher number when there's 30 and 30 months, but let's talk about the stats for what I read last month. The last quarter, I read 50 volumes of manga, totaling 30 shoujo titles, 1 shonen, 7 seinen, 11 josei, and 1 manhwa. Those will all be included. I don't know where I'll put light novels. Do you want me to talk about light novels here, or do you want them in their own bit? Like, where do you want them? Let me know. Because we're stepping into that world, you know? So yeah, let's dive into all the things I read. I'm just going to go in the order I read them. If you would prefer genre breakdown or a different format, let me know. For my brain right now, order read made the most sense. So I did read Honey Lemon Soda Volume 1. This was absolutely adorable. I'm really excited for Volume 2. I'm really mad we have to wait as long as we do because we got this in January. This is similar to Imakoi, I would say. We have a heroine who spent a lot of middle school being introverted and keeping to herself because she was bullied repeatedly, and then she starts getting bullied, and our hero shows up to help her, and they end up having this cute little friendship. It's just a really fun Volume 1, and I'm pumped for more. It's one of those things that left me curious and excited to read more. So I'm hoping I like where the story goes. I know that this Volume 2 is coming out soonish. I think it might be April. So I'm excited to see what we get as I continue to read this series. Okay, next we have My Love Mix-Up Volume 6, which I am obsessed with. I have loved this series so much. The basic premise of My Love Mix-Up is we follow 2 boys in high school. He accidentally drops his friend's eraser that has a name on it that's been carved into it. Well, it looks like it's his name, which is Ida, and it's not. It's missing a letter, and he sees it, and it ends up with them slowly on this discovery of self and sexual identity and them dating, and it's just really, really cute. Volume 6 was fantastic, and I'm so impatiently waiting for Volume 7. So impatiently waiting for Volume 7 that it's kind of sad how much I want it, but not. I really can't wait to read the next volume. This one left off on such a great point. I think that the story here has just been the cutest. They're talking about university at the end. Oh, so good. If you haven't picked this up, highly recommend. Next we have the isekai I'm reading / almost caught up on and complete, and that is the book Savior's Cafe in Another World. We have volumes 3 and 4. We watch our hero and our heroine here just fall more in love, become engaged. Really, really cute. We have a new person introduced in this one. We have one more volume coming, Volume 5. The cover for it is stunning, and I can't wait. This has just been one of my favorites to read, honestly. It's one that pretty much as soon as I get it, I'm devouring that next volume. But this follows a girl who is transported to another world and given special powers. She doesn't really want those powers or responsibility of the powers, so she's given this little cafe in the woods where the head of the royal guard comes, and they end up developing this really sweet friendship. She does some things to help them survive the incompetent other magical users that have been transported there, and it's just really, really cute and sweet. And she's older. Our protagonist, our female main character here, is in her 30s, so that has been also fantastic. I love this so much. I highly recommend. Okay, next is we're gonna very quickly talk about this. I read Yona of the Dawn volumes 1 through 10. We're doing the Yona log this year, so I'm not gonna hold up all of the volumes. So here's volume 1, here's volume 10. We're reading 11 through 15 this month. All right, next we have books I don't have physically here. LDK, which is Living Room, Dining Room, Kitchen, which is volumes 1 through 18. I read these when Shay visited. She brought me her whole set from where I had left off digitally on this series. And this is a series that I think if you can pick it up used is worth getting. I don't know that I would buy them full price. That's where I'm at. This follows a girl who ends up living with her neighbor, who is the popular boy in high school, and it's their relationship, and it's really funny and comedic and cute at times, but it also feels a little bit too long. So I'm going to finish the series, but I don't think it's one that I want physically on my shelves. It's also really long, it's 20 some volumes. So for me, it just feels a little too long for what it is. But there's that. I read 18 volumes of it. I also read the two of them are pretty much like this, volume 2. While Shay was here, she brought it for me. And I liked it more than I liked volume 1, but I don't know that it's a series, again, that I plan on continuing. It's very slice of life. Reminds me of My Senpai is Annoying. Like, we just kind of get quick snippets of their, like, day-to-day. This one was much, much better than volume 1. It felt a little less icky, but I still don't know that I love it. I think there's so many other Yuri mangas that I love that it's just not high on my list to pick up. I also read Abe Kun's Got Me Now, volume 8. Is that all I read was 8? This, I think, caught me up for a minute, or I'm close to caught up on this series. I really love this. This is about a guy who's a karate champ and his girlfriend, slash the girl he likes, and their burgeoning relationship. It's in the Kodansha digital jail. It's something I'm hoping when Kodansha launches their app is on there so that y'all have like an easy way to read it, because it is really, really cute and really, really fun. All right, next I read On or Off, volume 1. I got these digitally on sale in January for like $1.99, $2.99. It was really cheap. So I did pick them up. These are a BL manhwa. This is about a guy who's like the CEO of a company, and he's kind of a hard ass, and the college student whose team is pitching a game to his. He's really rude to him and stuff, and then they end up hooking up at the end of the volume 1. I really like the art. I'm curious enough that I'm going to continue with volume 2, but it is one that I think if you can read it ahead a little bit before you pick it up, I would. It's not going to work for some people, but it kind of works for me in a way that I'm really enjoying it. So yeah, I'm excited. Okay, next. If you're unfamiliar and you're here and you're new, Yona of the Dawn is one of my all-time favorite mangas. It is a fantasy romance manga that follows Yona, who watches her dad be murdered. He is the king of the realm, and her cousin is the one who murders him. So her and her bodyguard Hawk go on the run. Yona is the reincarnated dragon god or dragon king, and she goes around collecting her dragons, and there's so much story, political intrigue, romance. It has everything I want right here. Everything I want right here. So I love this. I'm obsessed with it. I have 2 backfilled volumes that I haven't read yet because I like don't want to be caught up yet. So that's where I'm at. But Yona of the Dawn is amazing. Highly, highly recommend. Next is Outbride Volume 3. This is the newest steamship volume for this series. I cannot wait for Volume 4. I have continued to leave each one of these books ecstatic for the next volume. So here I am still ecstatic for the next volume. This ended in a great way. I feel like we got some reveals about one of the love interests. So this is explicit, and this does feature a girl who got stuck in a tube at like 17. So do keep that in mind. It's not going to work for everyone. This has been my reigning favorite, but something knocked it off that favorites list, like the top. But yeah, they have to like, they're kind of competing for who gets to mate her first and like breed her to ensure their survival. But also is required to take in fluids from them to survive. So dystopian, futuristic weirdness right here, and really hot guys. I love it, but again, it's definitely not for everyone. Next is my other like new favorite psychological thriller, psychopath romance kind of. This is Yakuza Fiancé Volume 2. I think this was also actually previously a manhwa, possibly. I don't know. Oh God, the things I feel about this book. There we go. The things I feel about this book, y'all, are a lot. I'm obsessed because our female main character, she is like a take no shit and ready to kick ass. So our male main character decides he likes her finally because she is so take no shit, and he doesn't know how to handle that. And I love when that happens so much. But yeah, by the end of this volume, I'm super invested. She is the granddaughter of a Yakuza leader in Osaka. He is the supposed grandson of a Yakuza leader in Tokyo, and they're supposed to get married. They're in high school. It's very like high on the tension and high on the intrigue and psychopathness. It is one that is, again, not going to work for everyone, but boy, does it work for me really, really well. Okay, and then I read the series I'm really excited to catch up on during 30 and 30. So if I don't, yell at me, but that's Apothecary Diaries 2 and 3. I'm obsessed with this series already. I think this is such a great series. I love how we follow Mao Mao through her journey of being sold into the like concubine housing thing as like a worker, and then she ends up being found out as an apothecary and doing all these things to help. And then we have this love interest who's like really upset about being interested in her and her not understanding how things work. And like by volume 3, we've got a lot of intrigue. Or this is volume 3. By volume 3, we've got a lot of intrigue on the romance plot. So good. If you want a really good historical manga, this is a series I highly recommend. And we're getting an anime, and the anime looks fantastic. We have Vampire Dormitory 1 through 3. I read volume 1 for my volume 1 vlog and immediately picked up volumes 2 and 3 and have since purchased volumes 4 through 9. To say I am trash for this series already is an understatement, but I'm trash for this series, y'all. I love these books so much. Oh my god, do I love these books. So, we follow a girl who is cross-dressing and ends up taken in by a vampire at the school and ends up living in his room and feeding him, and he doesn't know she's a woman or a girl. And because of that, we get to watch their torn feelings about how he feels about her, kind of romance, we'll call it. And then other people figuring things out about her. And yeah, there's like a half vampire. There's a lot of intrigue, and I'm just truly absolute trash for the series. I don't feel like we get enough vampire books. So for me, this is just really exciting. I know Vampire Night exists. I don't want to read it. I know too much. I read it back in the day. I loved it back in the day before I knew things, and now I know too much. But yeah, this is hitting the spot, so I hope it pays off, and I love it at the end of the day. Okay, so another one from the volume 1 collection is I'm Kinda Chubby and I'm Your Hero. This is a BL following a baker and a actor. He sees him in the play and he just thinks he's so cute and handsome and is just enthralled by him, so he leaves him a treat, and it follows their journey of like figuring out who left the treat. I'm dying for volume 2. So yeah, if it was already out, I would have it in my hands and have read it already, but it's not out yet. So I'm eagerly anticipating volume 2. I think this is just such a fun one. I love our chubby hero. I love the way their little like romance is unfolding already. It's just very cute. Okay, another series I finished, so I'm only going to hold up 2 volumes. So I have volume 1 of Wotakoi and volume 6 of Wotakoi, which is the one I'm going to keep in front of me. This follows 2 friends from childhood who are big otakus and some other otakus and their journey for love. If you haven't read this series and you like josei mangas, I think you're missing out, and I don't know how you haven't read these yet. These are delightful, fantastic story, great plot, just a wonderful time all around. So I highly, highly recommend both of these. And if you like haven't picked them up, seriously, you need to. I was just thrilled with this. This is like a 6-star series. It's an all-time favorite. It's like below Sweat and Soap, but right up in that top 3 list of all-time favorite mangas. So yeah, I can't recommend it enough. I'm really glad I finally finished it. All right, next we have another one that I read 2 volumes of. I read volume 1 for my volume 1 vlog, and then I immediately picked up volume 2. This series is I Want to Be a Wall. This is about a girl who is asexual and loves BL mangas, and her husband, who is gay and in love with his childhood best friend. They end up getting married for convenience. He's very curious about her BL obsession and keeps trying to read them, and it's very funny because he keeps picking up the very, very explicit ones, and she like freaks out. But I really love their relationship. It's really cute and sweet. He's trying very hard to be a good husband, even though they have no sexual interest towards each other, and I'm obsessed. It's also a really short series, apparently. I think it might be done after 3 or 4. I'll put it down below in text, but to my knowledge, it's super short. But yeah, I really love this and am enjoying it immensely. I can't wait for volume 3, but it's probably gonna be a bit of a wait. Next, we have my sweet babies, Imakoi, Now I'm in Love, volume 5. Oh gosh, I love Imakoi. If you haven't picked up Imakoi yet, it has filled a void for me while some of my other favorites have been on hiatus because we're caught up to Japan. But this is about 2 high schoolers are starting their 2nd year of high school. She in middle school didn't act on her crush and regrets it ever since, so she decides to act on it, and she does. Anyways, she acts on her crush and they end up dating, and it has just been all the butterfly like tummy feelings that a little shoujo gives me, like with the high school romance elements. All of that is here, and I adore it. They're just so cute. They're so sweet. Their relationship's precious. They're really good together. They work really, really well. And they're just adorable. And I love it so, so much. So, so much. All right, next we have the new first place for the steamship titles, and that is Ladies on Top Volume 2. That is not boobs, that's her knees. I know, it looks It's not a well-posed cover. Okay, we're just gonna say that. This book, why did it move to number 1? Well, the exciting news is that we aren't being peg baited in this book, it looks like. And volume 2 covers a lot of ground. We interact with his ex, who kind of shows back up to assert her dominance again. She's very threatened by the fact that she didn't work for him as a love interest. And our heroine and him kind of have to work through that. We also just watch them continue to explore what interests the two of them, and such fun discussions and healthy discussions about how and what their sex is going to look like, and how sex doesn't have to look the same to everyone. So I love Ladies on Top. If you haven't picked this up yet, you're missing out. I did read volumes 1 through 4 of Boys Run the Riot for the Trans Rights Readathon. This is featured in that vlog if you're curious, but this series is a 5-star series. I love this. I don't feel like we get a lot of manga from the trans masc perspective. And this, I thought, did a wonderful job. I love how much it plays with fashion and how clothes can help you feel different and better and all those things. Fantastic. Absolutely love that aspect of this so freaking much. And I think it also like explores outing, like being outed forcefully, and other themes of that really well. I think it just honestly is a really good discussion of how to treat other people, which is exactly the same, who cares, how they dress or what they identify as. But this one just honestly really great. I hope we get more books with rep like this. I really loved the author interviews in the back as well, and them discussing their own identity and how that inspired them to write this. Next, we have Tsubaki Cho's A Lonely Planet Volume 2. I enjoyed this continuation. She's kind of exploring her crush on the guy that she's helping. It is definitely an age gap romance. It's not going to work for everyone. For me, I'm kind of waiting it out right now to see where we go with this one before I know how I feel and what I do or don't like about it at the end of the day. But it was a solid 4-star. Next, we have Cheeky Brat Volume 5. I'm loving this series. Again, another shoujo that's just kind of filling that gap for me, while some of my other favorites are on hiatus right now. But this was a delightful Volume 5. This follows a male main character who's younger than our love interest, as like who's interested in our female main character. And it's kind of her finally breaking down and telling him that she will date him. It's that whole relationship and that dynamic, and them kind of slowly coming to more terms in this volume, and I really like the progress we made. And then the last thing I read in this quarter was Donuts Over or Under a Crescent Moon. Did I say over? Whatever. Anyways, this is a office romance, 2 co-workers. This is a really cute, just soft Yuri manga. I love this series. I think it ended wonderfully. I couldn't be happier to have read it all. I can't wait to see what else this mangaka writes. We do have another manga coming from them already. So I'm excited. I loved this. This is a really cute, just complete it 4 volumes. Girls love manga. Highly recommend picking this up if you like an office romance and you want like kind of some discussion about figuring out what love is to you and what that looks like, because it's precious. So that's all the manga I read in the last 3 months. Let me know the last manga you read and loved or hated. Always love to hear the hate too in the comments. And if you don't want to do that, leave me a cat emoji, because I'm currently watching Peace Stare Down Millie. So it's an interesting time here, but you can do that in the comments. I'll have links to all these manga down below for you, as well as links to any videos I mentioned. And I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.
Already packing, come with me. I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know. About to see the world in action, what we can be, life with no distractions. We'll